Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where I would like to clean up some border gore here. Unfortunately, we are currently at an activity, and it'll be a little bit until we are done with that. So for the meantime, we can definitely do some ransom work here. This is all reasonably fine. This guy's not. Get out of here. No, actually, more specifically, stay here. We don't want him to get out of here. The rest of these are broadly fine, but there were a couple of kings in there. This is probably fake. The factions here, let's see here. Losing stress here is fine. Whatever. That's no problem. This is a faction to install the Queen of Tehert on the Hispanian throne. Yeah, this is almost certainly fake. So we'll let this update. There we go. That's more like it. It looks like this one is indeed fake, but there's possibly a real faction here somewhere. These populists? I think that's also likely fake. I would rather not spend prestige here. We'd like to get prestige. So that'll be fine for the time being. We do need to... Yep, that faction did indeed go away. We do need to get these... Well, we don't have to get these ransoms dealt with, but we should. So we'll do that. One thing I want to check here. How are we doing on our constructions over this way? Did we ever finish this? Yes, we did. Phenomenal. Okay, yes, I don't actually want to change our camera angle here. We're just going to work through and spend down our gold a bit here, although we're getting to the point where it's more difficult to spend down all of our gold. It's not impossible by any means. We've got plenty of places we can spend gold, but it'll just take a while, right? So that's definitely something that we are not necessarily the happiest about. It's absolutely a first world problem, though, and that's fine. We have too much money. Oh, no, the horror. Well, let's get all of this done there. There we go. We're down to about 60K. I mean, we could definitely just go around and spend all of this money. It would take a while. It would absolutely take a while to do. But we could certainly do it. So I guess we could think about it. There's no harm in doing this other than it just, like, taking some time, right? That's the majority of the harm here. Well, that's granted out to a Grandmaster? Very rude. Okay, well, we'll continue to upgrade these for now. Some of these are in the status of being quite expensive to upgrade, and that's good. That actually means that it's easier for us to spend the money then in those situations. So we like that. We are down to about 36,000 here. This isn't going too badly as far as how long it's taking to spend this money. So that seems relatively okay. We can definitely upgrade over here. Yes, that all looks good. We definitely don't mind spending money. This is absolutely okay. We'll let it build back up, but we can certainly spend this down somewhat. To be clear, though, this is just going to make the problem worse in the long run, because most of these things are just going to generate us ultimately more money. Even if it's very small amounts, it will ultimately be just generating us more money. And then we're going to be like, well, sure, but how do we spend that money? And the cycle then, of course, loops, and it just continues. We're down to only having about 4,000 gold right now, so that's great. We've just about got all of this spent. And there we go. That's all of it. So that's phenomenal for right now. Our meet peers is going to be done in 15 days. This ransom is acceptable. This ransom is also fine. This ransom is okay. What do we got on this event? Losing stress because we're charming? Okay, sure. We'll just speak loudly enough. That'll be fine. Until next time. So we gained 150 prestige. That's something, anyway. Yep, that's all acceptable. So now we need to get ourselves, well, a bunch of prestige if we want to be able to attack, right? So what's the best way to get prestige at this point? Well, generally, I would say a grand tournament, but we're a child. A grand wedding, on the other hand, that's potentially intriguing. Both of our siblings are currently unmarried. So we could definitely look to do something here, but both of them are also young. We'd have to wait for them to come of age any way we slice it. We could also create titles, that is an option. I'm not sure how many we have that could be created at this point. There's probably a fair number of them, to be honest. So that would be a... Okay, yeah, there's a lot of these. So we've got plenty. That'll be okay. We'll create the Kingdom of Syria for right now. And where does that de jure belong? Down over here? I'm going to grant that to this guy. He'll be a double king. That'll be fine for now. So Kingdom of Syria will be okay. Then, of course, duchy-level titles. So we've got the Duchy of Damascus here, which can be created. That would also de jure go over to this king. So we would grant that directly on over. He'll gain a bunch of opinion of us. He's also imprisoned. So that'll be fine for the time being. The Duchy of Lobi is over here. We can create that. And then we can grant that over to this fine gentleman here. He would become our vassal. I'm not sure he actually would. He would become this guy's vassal. So that's fine for now. We're at 1200 prestige. How much do we need for some of these attacks? If we were to de jure attack Finland, 1064, that's a doable thing. Okay. What about Regensburg? Can we attack this guy yet? No, we're still truced here. As a hypothetical, Venice. We could struggle clash Veneto, but we would not get Venezia. Okay, noted. What about Croatia? Any options here? Yes, actually. This guy is currently Orthodox. I'm going to send him a gift, boosting his opinion by 35. I'm going to demand his conversion. He might accept. He does not accept. That's very rude of him, of course. We could declare this war and go into... Actually, this guy's a vassal in our realm. We could try him as well. So we'll demand his conversion. He has a 31% chance of acceptance. That's slightly higher. And then there's also this guy. So we would send him a gift and try him as well. He has a 20% chance. We'll see if either of those convert. He does not. He does not. Okay. So that is sad. That, of course, means a struggle clash would not quite get us all of this, and we couldn't do a struggle clash anyway. So that's going to end up meaning that we do need a fair amount of additional prestige to do this because they're the wrong religion. That is sad. Can we do something about it? So all of these are vassals in our realm. They don't directly report to us. He's just a baron? Okay, that's a little bit awkward. Let's check these others. What rank are these other claimants? So, this guy. What do you got? He's just a baron. And this guy is also just a baron. Wow, that's very awkward. Okay. As a hypothetical, what do we have against Georgia? Not a lot is the answer, although we could de jure claim it. Why can we de jure claim that? Hang on a moment. We don't have the Byzantine Empire. Why can we de jure claim Georgia here? We would not get this up here. That's very interesting. Kingdom title here, Thessalonica. That would be why. Okay, gotcha. So Georgia does not actually hold this. This is all part of Thessalonica. Although there's a little bit of Nicaea over here, but we would get that as well, I think. Let's double check that real quick. We would. Okay. So that in Finland is stuff that we can do at any time. Croatia, not so much. So I do want to declare this war. For the time being, let's create ourselves a couple of duchies down over this direction to get the prestige for it. So we're going to have to grant that duchy over to this fine gentleman here. Perfect. And we'll get this duchy. That will go to this guy. So the Duchy of Cephalonia. There we go. I guess that's probably Cephalonia. Okay, so next up we would go for Ouagadougou. And that would go down over this direction. That would be granted to this fine gentleman here. And then we create one more, Palmyra. Okay, absolutely fine. That would end up going to this lady. Cool. So that's okay. At this point, we should have enough. And yeah, we can create more titles if we need additional prestige. So I want to go after Croatia here. I do wish that somebody had converted, but unfortunately they did not. Let's just declare on Croatia, and we're going to head on in from the south here, I think. We'll raise up men-at-arms, a few levy troops. How many levy troops? Not many is the answer. Okay, sounds good. Let's get this border gore cleaned right on up. So we're going to be heading in... Oh, that's mildly awkward. Okay. Impassable here, though? Sure. Okay, seems fine. Men-at-arms have arrived, and up we go. We do have these ransoms here. That's acceptable, and that is also acceptable. Phenomenal. So we're going to get this siege done. Do we have any interest whatsoever in fighting them? Possibly. Yeah, that's a full county occupation. So we're not going to take attrition here. This is fine. We're going to split off a few bombards. 20k will be sufficient. And we're just going to head right on up over here. We'll not take attrition. We'll put in a siege commander, and we'll go siege their capital. Phenomenal. Up we go. I don't know if we'll stop these guys in time to stop their siege, but it doesn't really matter either way. That siege is kind of irrelevant. They're running away from us. Okay. Cool. So we're just going to head directly on in there then. We're at 76% war score. This is over. Okay, so the war is indeed over as expected, and we will disband our troops. Phenomenal. That is Croatia under our control. So at this point, now we can get some de jure claims. Now, Yavdi, do we have anything here? Struggle clash? Okay, that's mildly awkward here. No crossing over this river, and the impassable terrain means that we don't get either of these. Noted. So we would be looking for claimants here, most likely. I would like to clean up some of that border gore, but we have a fair amount of border gore down here, to be honest. So going after Georgia for the de jure lands would be great. That would be 840 prestige. For the time being, since we're a child, we're going to have to continue creating titles for this prestige. So that's okay. We'll create this duchy here. That'll be granted over to this fine gentleman. Cool. And then we'll create this duchy. That goes up over here. Sure, we'll grant you right on over. Magnificent. We're at 749, so we'll need to create the Duchy of Oyo as well. And we're going to grant that here. There we go. Looks good. So now we have the prestige that we need to claim Georgia and clean up this border gore. That's great. This is the last, like, classical piece of border gore, although I'd consider this down here to be a little border gory. We'll think about doing something about that. Pontus. Yavdi sticks into our border pretty significantly. We would definitely like to clean that up. And of course, Finland. Finland is something we'll need to take care of, and that will create border gore up here. That is all expected and something that we can easily handle. So we can attack Georgia right now. Hypothetically, if we struggle clash, this would be way more expensive, and we wouldn't really get what we want out of it, I don't think. I want to check in here. Okay, they have Armenia and Georgia. That's kind of awkward, and this isn't going to clean that out at all, but we will get these de jure territories, at least. To be clear, though, now that we have Croatia, we should be able to create the Byzantine Empire, which we absolutely should do. And that will give us de jure claims on, well, just what we already had, I think. Well, a little bit extra over here, now that I look at it. So that will put us, yeah, definitely a little extra over here. I like it. So that carves out a little bit more of Georgia. And we'll have de jure claims on Pontus now as well, which Pontus will now be border gore. So let's declare this, and we're going to raise up, for now, down over near, like, Neopatris, and we'll raise up our men-at-arms. We'll raise up a few levy troops. That'll be absolutely fine. An armory break-in. Do we want to be honest? Do we want to be impatient? Or do we want to be arbitrary? Honestly, I'm leaning towards honest. That's mildly ironic. It is virtuous to Catholics, so an additional piety per month would be nice. So we'll definitely take that. We need all the piety we can get our hands on, right? So that'll be good. This should be sufficient, right? Yeah, Georgia has less than 20,000 troops. So this will be sufficient. We'll let these guys move on up to Neopatris. And we'll get going on this. So it looks like we should not be expecting to have ticking war score due to the flashing of this border. That is generally what I've found that bug to mean. Is that it is going to, like, continually reset the ticking war score. So that's fine. We're okay with not having ticking war score here. It shouldn't be a problem. We can absolutely split off our force if we know where they are. There's a small force here, but I don't see their primary army for right now. So for now, we'll just continue sieging. We're up to 28% war score, so just sieging through here should be sufficient. I don't think that we need to embark on anything. It should be fine. And we are getting prestige from completed city buildings, so that is definitely something to remember as well, that we do get prestige from completed city buildings. That'll be absolutely great. Let's see, up here in Thessalonica, yeah, it would be Gravina. Okay. Sounds good. Actually, I don't think this is Thessalonica at all. I read, like, the first little bit here and then just kind of assumed. Fantastic. We'll let that sword be destroyed. That's fine. We're at 49% war score right now. And we're just going to continue to siege our way through. 53%. We could attempt to beat our bully to death, or we could pay our 5 gold. And that's what we're going to do. 5 gold is not a problem. We had a 50-50 chance. It didn't work. That's okay. We make so much money, though, 5 gold is completely irrelevant to us. We are going to race on stilts, and what happens? Ah, we gain 75 prestige. Fantastic. We'll definitely take 75 prestige. That is going to be very useful for us, of course. Here's Thessalonica. Yeah, this is not Thessalonica at all back over here, as expected. So we're going to head on into properly Thessalonica up over here. We're actually already there. A growing shadow, huh? She doubled down on the bullying. Okay, our bully is a problem, and of course, we're Empress of majority of the world. So that really shouldn't be a problem for us, but apparently it is. So this war's over. We're going to enforce those demands and disband our troops, so all of that territory is now under our control. This, of course, brings Pontus into the official category of exclave. So I would like to declare war on Pontus. I mean, they do have this naval border, but I'd like to declare war on Pontus and get that taken care of. This is, of course, de jure, so it's nice and cheap. No problem whatsoever there. We're going to raise up our forces right over here, raising our men-at-arms and some levy troops. Phenomenal. You don't need to do that. How much do we actually need here? 25,000? Okay. This is more than sufficient, and inward we head. Phenomenal. So we've got a decent amount of prestige right now. We're making like 50 per month beyond what we're getting from other sources, so this is reasonably fine. We're actually making rapid progress on the siege up here. This is remarkable. This is their capital, by the way. That sieged incredibly quickly once our siege weapon got there. We're going to head down here to avoid the attrition. Not that it really matters all that much, but we will avoid the attrition. So we're just going to continue to siege our way through. We're already at 33%. I'm not expecting this war to be particularly complicated either. Herbalist? Sure. That'll be fine. So let's go attack Hadrianopolis. And I think we'll just kind of curve our way up and then follow the coast over this direction. They're embarking and possibly going to try to take back their capital. That would be a bad idea if they did. I really don't think that they should do that. Especially if we're going to be up over here, which was exactly our plan. We're not betrothed, and there was a successor for the noblest of the Catholics. So we do need a new one here. Mayor Ramiro, skill 12. Okay, skill 12. And where are you at, Ramiro? Here he is. Okay, so we'll put him in here. There we go. And do we need any others? The Silver Pilgrim. We need to seek a worthy successor for him. Okay. Sword of God has one, and Noble Cavalry is good. Okay, fantastic. So we'll see who we get for the for the accolade here. That'll be absolutely great. Where did they go? They're just kind of chilling down over here. Okay. That's interesting, for sure. I don't think it's a good call. They clearly siege slower than we do. They're not going to get 50% war score before we hit 100. So this is not a good play. The question is, what is a good play here? I mean, there really kind of isn't one, to be honest. We're going to enforce those demands and disband our troops. There we go. Pontus under our control. Magnificent. So next up, we would like to deal with Yavdi. It's very much sticking into our realm. It's technically not an exclave because there is this connection over here, but we would very much like to take over Yavdi. Now, in order to do that, we would probably need a claimant. 20 reasons. This might work. 0 reasons? That's rude. Too far away to interact with, too far away to interact with. Too far away. This guy would definitely not accept it and is an unrelated child. Okay, so we're going to need to, like, sway this guy or send him an artifact. An artifact would actually do the trick here, most likely. What would we want to send? Something that gives him, ideally, more than 5 opinion. I'd like 10 or 20 opinion. Has very low durability. We'd need to, like, repair that first. We could send him this prize armor. It has low durability, but he gains 16 opinion of us, which would allow us to invite him to court. Beautiful. So into court he comes. Ah, we have a silver pilgrim here, but I need to convert this guy over first. There we go. So let's get our silver pilgrim successor here. So that's going to be this guy. Skill 11. Okay. What do we got? There he is. And in you go. Phenomenal. So that'll be absolutely fine. Now we can attack Yavdi, pressing his claim. That'll cost us 840 prestige. That is absolutely fine for right now. I don't have any problem whatsoever with that. Out of curiosity, what is the de jure empire over here? Carpathia? We're close to getting Carpathia. Would this do it? We need 10 counties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So not quite. Not quite. Noted. How close are we on West Slavia? We have it. So that would mean that we can do de jure on White Horde for a significant portion of this. Noted. And then the Baltic Empire, of course, we need like 11 there. We'd have to take on like the White Rus. For now, I think what we do is we take out Yavdi, since we have a claim here. Finland is de jure. White Horde is de jure. So both of those can be deferred if necessary. I think that we just declare this war for right now. We'll get this under our control. This is technically a kingdom tier realm, and that's absolutely fine. We're going to drop our rally point here. We'll raise men-at-arms. We'll raise levy troops, and we don't expect this to be a very difficult war. Honestly, we don't expect any wars at this point to be difficult unless they are internal. Internal wars could be problematic for us. External wars, not so much. Okay, so we're going to be fighting them here with just our levy troops, but the men-at-arms are behind shortly, and once they arrive, that will start just absolutely getting very, very tough for them. Just would be an interesting thing for us. Temperate, I think, is better, though, because of that piety of 1 per month. We'll take that. Bringing us up to 9 per month piety. I like it. We probably would have stack wiped this if our men-at-arms had been there from the beginning, but they were not. So as it is, we'll just take our victory and just siege our way through. So this will be fine. No problem whatsoever here. We're going to continue to siege through. And we'll take over their capital here. We could theoretically win from taking the capital, but that would be reliant on captures. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. From there, we could head down this direction and look to fight them. We did capture his son. Okay. So we actually get the choice on our sexuality here. It doesn't really matter what we choose, I think. But ultimately, it is, in my opinion, slightly more efficient to be heterosexual for specifically the fertility bonus to get additional bargaining chips. I mean children. So heterosexual is technically slightly more efficient here. But it really doesn't hurt us in any meaningful capacity if we're not that. It's not a big deal. So it's completely okay, but it is slightly more efficient. Cool. So war is over. We're going to enforce those demands and disband our troops. So that's a fair amount of territory that we got there. It is about time to end the episode, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to push into White Horde, maybe going after White Rus a little bit. That would be absolutely great. We don't have much de jure here, although we do have this claim. I'm very tempted. I'm going to just declare this right now. It will put us negative. I'm okay with that for the time being. I just want to declare this so that I don't forget that we've declared it. As long as we have that claim, we should press it right now, and I don't want to forget about it next episode. So there we go. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.